Everybody, and welcome back to Slowpoke Racing, home of the Ultimate Racing League. We are with the, what have we got this wrong in the first race tonight? Pro Split 2. We are with Pro Split 2 for our Sunday Championship. And this is race 2 over in, well, as you can see there, with a big sign above the car's head, Sardegna. Fictional track in Sardegna, Italy. Just over 3 miles long and 15 turns, and what an absolute banger of a race we had in race 1, which saw Dandan take the victory ahead of Nath, just with Stubbs, well, not even half a second, I don't think, behind. So fantastic stuff from those. There were battles throughout the field. This is a reverse grid. So it'll the guys that finished at the back are now going to start at the front. Now, Bloomfield had a disaster. He had a bit of an accident on about lap 5, I think it was, and couldn't really catch up. So he's now starting in pole position. Brian Moncani is in second. Harry Poppins just behind him in third. Dizzy is fourth on the grid. P. White is fifth. Mika is sixth. Seventh is Chuck. Eighth is Silly Shot with ninth is Paul, and he's got his livery back on. That is good to see. What a great battle that Silly Shot and Paul had in race 1. So yeah, good to see the livery back on for Paul. In 10th we've got Grasshopper. 11th is Gower. Stubbs in 12th. Nath in 13th, and winner of race 1 is Dandan. And that's the punishment you get for winning race 1. You have to start all the way at the back for race 2. So, yeah, one hell of a job on his hands now if Dandan wants to win this one, because he has got a lot of talented drivers ahead of him. Now, race 2, there is a pit stop. It is a mandatory pit stop because you have to use mediums and hard tyres in this race. Only mediums and hard. Excuse me. So there will be a pit stop, and judging by some of the guys running out of fuel towards the end of race 1, the fuel usage is ramped up in this race, so that some of the guys are going to have to manage the fuel as well. But we will see how they get on. So let's just crack on, shall we, get this race started. Grid starts this season, as opposed to the rolling ones we had last season, makes a bit more exciting for the viewers at least, and quite a crowd actually. If you look to the right there, we've got quite a crowd in the stands having a watch of this race. So down they go, well, sort of slight hill to start with, but then they go down towards turn 1. Brian Moncani already having a look at the inside of Bloomfield as they have a bit of a touchy-feely session between the two of them. And it is Bloomfield who is just about keeps his nose in front of Brian Moncani. He's not letting this one go. It's almost NASCAR, isn't it, side by side. Everybody's still there looking at it. Yeah, I think everybody's got away okay. Oh, Dandan didn't. Let's have a look. See, did he have a bit of a false start? There is a false start check on this. Yeah, he just didn't seem to get away, did he? So Dandan, although he's down at the back, didn't really seem to get away properly, but there we go. So we'll just follow him through turn 1 again, back up to the top where we were before. So Brian McConney and Bloomfield battling it out with Harry Poppins sitting there in third, just behind the pair of them, cannot find a way through. Who's that? Mika having a look at the inside. Oh, as they go 3 wide, it's not going to fit there at turn 4 and 5 into Wayne's chicane. And Mika again having to go all the way around the outside. Oh, he gets a bit squirrely but manages to hold on to it. That could have been an absolute disaster. I think it was Chuck there that nearly got taken out as Mika desperately tries to find a way through this pack. And it is packed in there. Again, a bit squirrely for Paul as he gets onto the power early. Bloomfield still in front from Brian Moncani and Harry Poppins, but down here in mid-pack is where it's all happening. I can just about see Dandan has made up a couple of spots just at the back there, but there is a little bit of a gap forming as Paul and Stubbs go side by side. Stubbs has had a great start, got himself up to 8th. Well, he's just dropped to 9th now actually as Gower gets the power down early. So fantastic stuff. Grasshopper in 11th. Where is he? There he is. Grasshopper in 11th. In that very shiny green car. Oh, Stubbs. That's an awful lot of grass there now. He's going to have to be careful, is Stubbs, as we go into turn 14. He's going to have very dirty tyres. And there we go again onto the grass. So got to be careful. Should be okay now through turn 15 and then onto the start-finish straight show. They should be clean by the time we get down towards turn 1. But that definitely held him up there, didn't it? Oh, and he's going. Oh. That was going to be painful. I really thought we were going to have to call the medics for that one. He looked like he was going head on into that barrier. Let's just have a look at that again from Stubbs' point of view. I honestly thought the air ambulance was going to be called for that one. He went too far over there, just missed it. So yeah, dirty tyres has cost him there. He's got to get them cleaned off. A bit of weaving about wouldn't hurt, Stubbs. You're down at the back, nobody behind you. But he should be okay by the time he gets to turn one, so he'll carry on. He is on the hard tyres and he's picked up damage as well. Now then, the guys can come in at the end of this lap if they want. The guys on the hard tyres, it depends if those tyres will last, if the medium tyres will last. It did in the GR4 cars. A lot of us pitted on lap 2, but it's a bit different in the Group 3s. So we'll keep an eye on that. It just depends how well the mediums are going to last. So Bloomfield's still out in front. This is a much better showing from Bloomfield. Out in front, Brian Moncani as well. This is where we like to see Brian Moncani up there amongst the leaders and putting a bit of pressure on Bloomfield. Bloomfield, if he looks in his mirror, all he's going to see is that kissy face of Brian Moncani's Jaguar heading towards him. So yeah, he will want to run, won't he, and open up a bit of a gap. So let's have a look. Bloomfield on the hard tyres, so is Brian Moncani. Chuck is on the medium, so Chuck really does need to get a hurry up and try and clear the two guys in front of him so he can open up a bit of a gap. He's got the purple sectors flashing up, but then again, so will everybody else actually. It's only lap 2. Everybody gets fastest lap on lap 2. So Chuck sitting there in third. Yeah, he really does need to try and get past Brian Moncani and Bloomfield as quickly as we can. We know he's more than capable of doing it. He's just got to get a little bit closer. Maybe not quite got to grips with this Jaguar yet as Chuck, because he is a very, very quick driver, is Chuck. I have raced with him before. Well, I say I've raced with him. I've watched him drive off into the distance, so I know how quick he is. So maybe not quite settled in that Jaguar yet, but I'm sure as the season progresses we're going to see more and more of Chuck up there in amongst the leaders, and starting to put the pressure on Brian Moncani now is Chuck as they go through turn 2 and up towards Wayne's chicane at turns 4 and 5. Harry Poppins, he's dropped down to 4th now. He was in 3rd, wasn't he? But Harry Poppins on the hard tyres, so it was only time before Chuck overtook him, Chuck being on the mediums. Dizzy also on the medium tyres. He's looking to make a move on Harry Poppins. As I say, Harry Poppins not going to be too bothered about that. As long as he can stay in touch with the leaders, the pit stops will turn, because Harry Poppins will have the medium tyres to come. So Dizzy right in amongst it there. We'll jump on board with Dizzy as he looks to make the move as we're going up through Brownie's fast lane, then down the hill towards Firepower Frenzy at turn 9, and Dizzy gets the move done on Harry Poppins. He is on the medium tyres, so has got a better grip. We can see Mika getting a bit squirrely there as we came out of turn 9 through turns 10, 11 and 12. Excuse me. Another quick look behind us and we're okay. Through turn 13 then goes Dizzy down towards turn 14 at Harry's highlight, and catching up to the back of Chuck. Chuck getting a bit closer to Brian Moncani, so looking to be making a move on him anytime soon. Let's just go down the pack. Gower is sitting there in 5th. He's got Dandan. What a start for Dandan. I mean, considering he had that, I'm not sure if it was a false start, but he was very slow off the line. But Dandan now challenging Mika for P6. Dandan on the medium tyres, so that's why he's making his way through the grid so quickly. He really does need to look after them though, otherwise he's going to have to make a bit of a pit stop and do the last section on hard tyres. And well, as I say, you want to try and keep the hard tyre compound down to a minimum. So yeah, a bit of tyre management really I think is needed for the guys on mediums. But Dandan up to 7th. Harry Poppins is dropping down the pack. It's almost like he's going backwards. He is on those hard tyres, but he does need to try and stay in touch with the guys in front. Now unfortunately we don't know what the distance is time wise between Harry Poppins and Bloomfield at the minute. We've got to sort of guess at it, but it's, well, a good few seconds at the minute. Nath in 9th. What a fantastic battle he had in race 1. If you haven't watched race 1, then I suggest you go and do so, because that was some of the best racing I've seen for a long time. Well, since last week anyway. Nath in 9th. He was involved in it all the way through the race. Paul in 10th with Shiny Grasshopper in 11th. P White in 12. Let's just have a look at the tyres. We didn't really look, did we? Nath is on the mediums. Paul also on the mediums, as is Grasshopper. P White on the hard. Stubbs is on the hard tyres, and Silly Shot also on hard tyres. So all of those guys have got the mediums to come. So Bloomfield then, he's doing a fantastic job on those hard tyres, and he's got a bit of a gap, and there we go. Chuck has made the move on Brian Mulcahy. Oh, sorry, we missed that one, but Chuck has got through. Shall we go back and have a look? Shall we go? Yeah, let's see if we can find it. There we go. We're going to have a look at it. Of course we are. We love to see an overtake as much as we love to see a crash. So Chuck then in third. Oh, it's Brian Mulcahy, and Chuck followed him as well. Brian Mulcahy gets onto the grass. Chuck followed him, but Chuck managed to get out of the dirt a lot sooner than Brian Mulcahy. I'm glad we actually came back now and had a look at that. A great move from Chuck. He managed to get out of the dirt a lot quicker than Brian Mulcahy did. He is on the medium tyres, so does have the better grip, although they're going to be a little bit dirty for this turn. Should be clean by the time we get down towards turn 1. So that's how Chuck made the move on Brian Mulcahy and moves up into P2, and he's now got his sights fixed firmly on Bloomfield Derriere. Brian Mulcahy then in third, still doing a fantastic job on those hard tyres. We are on lap 5 of 15. Let's have a look at the tyres. Chuck then, well, not a lot of wear there, is there? Just about, just over half a tank of fuel. So could it be the fuel that forces the guys in before the tyres give up? Medium tyres on Chuck's got to look okay. Chuck is okay at looking after tyres. So we'll try and find somebody else who's on mediums as well. Brian Mulcahy just over half a tank. Bloomfield used just a little bit more. Dizzy on the mediums. Yeah, tyres are looking okay actually. I think it may be the fuel then that pushes the guys into the pits. Excuse me. Dizzy is in fourth. Gower in fifth. He's coming under attack from Dizzy, or is he attacking Dizzy? Oh, I think he's attacking Dizzy, isn't he? As they go through turn 9. And Dizzy just about keeping his nose in front, just ahead of Gower. Then we've got Dan in 6, so we'll jump on board with Gower through turn 13, just avoiding that barrier on the left-hand side. A quick look behind us, and there it is, Dan. You can see it's Dan. He's his name written all over the bonnet. So Dan, he's under. Look at the inside. Oh, that was tight. Let's have a look at that from outside the car. So as we head down towards turn 14, you can see Dan dives to the inside, and oh, great race. Oh, what happened to Brian Mulcahy? We're going to have to go back and have another look at that. Brian Mulcahy, he was sitting comfortably in third. The guys were fighting behind him. Oh, and he's, well, I'm not quite sure what happened there. He just forgot to put his brakes on, didn't he? Very unlike Brian. So whether he had a very quick disconnect, I'm not sure what happened. Took his eye off the ball. Anyway, either way, he's putting down into 6th. Although he's now into the slipstream of Dan, he's actually pushing Dan along. Excuse me. Dan did get in front of Gower, didn't he? At one point, but Gower somehow has managed to get that place back. Dan drops down to 5th. Brian Mulcahy in 6th now. Brian Mulcahy on those hard tyres. Dan on the mediums. Gower also on the mediums. So again, these two, they really don't want to get involved in a battle, because that is just going to get through the fuel and the tyres as well. They need to concentrate on trying to catch up to the leaders. Obviously you can't bump draft, or well, you can work together in a certain extent, but you can't do any bump drafting. But these two fighting away, it's just going to fall straight into Brian Mulcahy's hands here, and it is also going to help. Oh, Chuck's got in front of Bloomfield. We missed that one. Let's just go. We will go back as we come down the hill then towards turn 1, and Bloomfield just holding it off Chuck through turn 1, but Chuck gets a fantastic drive out of turn 1, gets himself in front of Bloomfield as they head through turn 2 towards 3 and 4 at Waney Chicane, and it is Chuck now who takes over the lead of this race on those medium tyres. He can now start to think about putting some distance between himself and Bloomfield, who's on those hard tyres. What a fantastic race he's had so far, though. He is on the hard tyres, led for most of this race up until that point there when Chuck just got in front of him, but Chuck on the better compound So Bloomfield just got to hold on now. He's got Dizzy behind him. Dizzy also on the medium tyres. They should be fully warmed up now. So should the hard. So yeah, Dizzy getting a little bit closer to Bloomfield. So guys probably start to think about when to pit now. Oh, good battle going on behind here between Dandan and Gower. Gower just ahead of Dandan in fourth. Brian Moncarney's there as well, still hanging around in behind Dandan as we go through turn 13 down towards turn 14 at Harry's Highlight. It is Dizzy in third. Chuck leading this race. Bloomfield in second. Dizzy third. Gower, who we're watching at the minute with Dandan. Well, Dandan's pulled alongside him now as they go through the final turn, turn 15, and head across or head down towards the start-finish line to finish lap 6. Start lap 7 as Gower has a look now on the outside. Dandan going very defensive. Brian McCartney having a bit of a look as well. He's trying to go up the inside of it. He's trying to go in between the throw. It's 3 wide almost into turn 1. Wow, how they avoided each other, I do not know, but Dandan has come out on top. He's in fourth. Gower's in fifth. Brian Moncarney on those hard tyres tried to go in between the two of them as they came down the hill towards turn 1. But everybody's bit was twitching then. That could have ended in absolute disaster, but like I said before, these are up there with the top racers in URL, so fantastic stuff between them. It is Dandan though in fourth, Dizzy in third, Bloomfield and then Chuck leading this race. Gower sitting in fifth, who we're with at the minute. What a fantastic mid-race battle we're having. Let's just drop down and see what's happening elsewhere. Nath, who was second in race 1, he's now putting a challenge on Brian Moncarney. Nath on the mediums as well as they get through turn 9, and Nath now moves up into 6th with Brian Moncarney dropping to 7th. He's got Mika just behind him in P8. Grasshopper is in 9th at the minute with Paul just behind him in 10th. Oh, it's Grasshopper literally goes across the grass, and we've seen quite a few do that, haven't we, up to now? Now dirty tyres for Grasshopper. Is he going to be aware of that and take his time? Yes, he does. Nice and clean through turn 14 for Grasshopper with those dirty tyres, so just get them cleaned off before we get down towards turn 1. Grasshopper now trying to make the move on Brian Moncarney. We've got Paul just sitting there behind. Let's jump on board with Paul. Oh, somebody's into the pit. Here's Bloomfield. Bloomfield and Silly Shot. Oh, excuse me. We're on board with Paul as we really put the pressure on Brian Moncarney. I think Paul's trying to open the boot of that Jaguar of Brian Moncarney's then. He got that close. Definitely had a good look inside, didn't he? See what he's carrying. Not a lot actually, I would imagine, just a lot of scaffolding. Oh, what a great move there from Paul up the inside at turn 5. What a great move from Paul. Let's just go back and have a look at that from outside the car. It was into turn 4, he took the inside line. Oh, great move, Brian Moncarney. Not much he could do about that. Paul was already in front and had claimed the corner, so Brian Moncarney now down to 9th. Now, as I said earlier, we do have some pit stops. So Bloomfield is in and taking on some fuel. Silly Shot also in and taking on fuel. They were on the hard tyres, so they'll be out on the mediums next. Everybody else has stayed out so far. Chuck on the mediums, he doesn't need to come in yet, although the fuel is going to force him in within the next couple of laps. So Chuck really does need to try and open up a decent gap. I mean, he's got a decent gap now, but it needs to be bigger than this. Dizzy in second, also on the mediums. Slightly better on the fuel for Dizzy. Dandan, a quarter of a tank as well, pretty much the same as Dizzy. Oh, it's Mika. Oh, what's happened to Mika? Hold on to it, yes. Oh, that was fantastic car control from Mika. Have a look at this. Goes too wide onto the grass. It starts to go, and somehow he wrestled that Jag back into shape. So brilliant stuff from Mika to hold on to 6th. After that, oh, well, if that were me, I'd have still been spinning. I'd have been over in that field having a bit of grass with the cows, and the car would still be spinning somewhere on its own. So brilliant stuff from Mika to hold on to 6th. Paul in 7th. Grasshopper then on the medium tyres is into the pits alongside my Brian Moncani. So yeah, pit window definitely open, and the guys are starting to come in now. So this is where all that practicing and getting your tactics right starts to come into play now. So we go back up to the top with Chuck. Where are we? We are just coming through turn 5 now. Is Chuck? He's got Dizzy and Dan behind him. Let's have a look at the fuel. Well, the fuel light's not on yet. I would think he's probably got one more lap after this for Chuck, and then he's going to have to come in. But that's probably going to be the same for most of the guys. Yeah, Dizzy's the same as is Dan. Dan's slightly better. Slipstreaming does help. Dan had to pull out then. No bump drafting allowed. I think he got so close to Dizzy. He had to pull out as he goes on the inside then into turn 9. It is side by side. That's such a tight turn to go to abreast there, but they managed it, and they are still side by side. It is Dan and Dizzy. Fantastic stuff here in race 2. It is pretty much the same as race 1. Brilliant stuff. It is still Dizzy. No, Dizzy just about keeps his nose in front of Dan as they go through turn 13 down towards turn 14. Dan's got the inside. Gower there as well, ready to pounce, waiting for one of them to make a mistake. Gower goes up the inside of Dizzy as well and tries to get the drop on him. Dan goes through and moves up into P2. Dizzy just holds on to P3 after coming under a lot of attention from Gower. Now you can see the fuel lights are on. Chuck, our race leader, is into the pits. So Chuck is in. Let's have a look. So is Mika. Mika's come in as well. So Dan, Gower and Dizzy have all stayed out. Dan just about holding on to P1 at the minute. Gower has moved up into second with Dizzy in third, Nathan fourth. So the battle continues then. There's only Stubbs missing. Where is Stubbs actually? Stubbs is, where is he? There he is. Stubbs is down in 12th. So race 2 really not been his race. He has made a pit stop. He's out in the mediums now and fully fueled up, ready for the end of the race. So let's just see if Stubbs can make his way through. So let's go back up to the top and see what's happening with these boys. It is Dan fuel light flashing now, so probably going to, well, he's going to have to come in at the end of this lap. Gower likewise in second, so is Dizzy and Nath, Paul. So Harry Poppins in 6 has made his pit stop. He is out on the medium tyres, and he knows all the guys ahead of him have all got to pit, and some of them are going to be coming out on the hard tyres. So it's a good opportunity for Harry Poppins to get himself up there and onto the podium. Chuck, who was leading this race, has come out on the hard tyres, but in P7 he's going to have to try and get some heat into them things. He's seen again a little bit squirrely there out of turn 4 and 5. Chuck as he goes around turn 6. So yeah, he's trying to stay in touch with Harry Poppins just ahead of him, but Harry Poppins on those mediums should start to pull a bit of a gap until Chuck can get some heat into his hard tyres. Mika is in 8th, having made his stop. Then we've got Brian Moncani, Bloomfield, Grasshopper. Now then, let's have a look. Dan is in. So the top guys, top 5 I think will come in. Yeah, there we go. So the top 5 are all in. Harry Poppins, where is he? He has gone around through. Ooh, just coming up to turn 13 then is Harry Poppins. Keep an eye on that table on the left hand side and look for when the fuel goes in. Oh, as Chuck goes very wide and again onto the grass. We've seen so many people do that, haven't we? It is a very quick turn, but it is also one of those turns that can catch you out. So around turn 14 goes Harry, and then if you have a look, the fuel is now starting to go into the cars for the top 5 at the minute. Harry Poppins now. It looks like Dan has finished refueling and he's on his way out of the pit. So is Nath. Let's have a look, see where Harry Poppins and so are going to come. Oh, what's happened here? So Gower's back out, yeah. So Dan, Nath, Gower, Dizzy all got out just ahead of Harry Poppins, but Harry Poppins has got himself alongside Dizzy. In fact, he's got himself in front of Dizzy at turn 1. So Dizzy couldn't quite get out of the pits quick enough. So Harry Poppins now moves up into P4. Great stuff going on here in race 2. Dizzy in 5th. Chuck, who was leading for quite a bit of the race, is now down in 6th. He's on those hard tyres though. Let's have a look and see what's happening up the top. So it is Dan out in front on a set of hard tyres. Can he hold on to that lead? He's got quite a gap actually. Quite sure where he got that gap from. He came out of the pits ahead of the other guys. Did he put a bit less fuel in? I'm not quite sure, but whatever's happened, that pit crew have really done him a favour and got him out with quite a decent gap back to Nath. Nath also on the hard tyres, as is Gower. So opportunity there for Harry Poppins then on the mediums. We're on lap 11 of 15. So Harry Poppins senses a podium finish here. He's got Gower in front of him, he's got Dizzy behind. In fact, jump on board with Harry, shall we, as we hop down towards turn 14 at Harry's highlight. A quick look behind us and Dizzy in fifth, but a great exit from Harry Poppins there on the medium tyres. He's got the grip, hasn't he? He's right up the chuff of Gower as we go down the start finish straight now, across the start finish line to start lap 12. We are into the slipstream now then. Is Harry Poppins going to have a look? Gower, is he going to go defensive? No, he's not. Gower's going to stick to the racing line, doesn't feel he needs to defend at the minute. Harry Poppins really just doesn't fancy making a move there. It would have been a bit of a dive, to be honest, but a great exit out of turn 1 through turn 2 then for Harry Poppins. Surely he's going to have a look into turn 4, into the chicane section, although Gower is going to have the inside line as we go into turn 5. Maybe the old switcheroo for Harry Poppins, and that's exactly what it was. What a great move there from Harry Poppins. Knew exactly what he was doing, just picked his moment, didn't he? He was patient all the way through the first 2-3 turns, knew exactly what he wanted to do there, and moves himself up into a podium spot. Gower down into 4th, so brilliant stuff from Harry Poppins, using those medium tyres very, very well. Gower on the hard, sitting in 4th. He's going to do everything he can to hold on to P4 now as Dizzy chases him down, also on the hard tyres. We are on lap 12. Let's have a look. Where is Chuck? Chuck, who led for quite a majority of this race, is then 4th. He's in 6th. At the minute is Chuck. He is on the hard tyres though, as are, well, nearly everybody in front, apart from Harry Poppins. So all of the top 6, 7, 8, the top 8 guys, apart from Harry Poppins, are all on the hard tyres. Mika is in 8th. Then we go to Bloomfield on the mediums in 9th. So he needs to get a bit of a hurry up, doesn't he? Catch up to the back of Mika and maybe gain a couple of places, get a few vital points on the board. Brian Moncani in 10th, also on the medium tyres, so Brian Moncani should get into the slipstream of Bloomfield just ahead of him. We've got Stubbs there in 11th as well, trying to catch up to the back of Brian Moncani. Not close enough to make a move now though, but Brian is. He has a bit of a sniff up the inside as we go into turn 1. Oh, gets himself on the curb. That's allowed Bloomfield to continue through and hold on to P9. In fact, Stubbs has now got onto the back of Brian Moncani. I think Brian Moncani tried to give Bloomfield a bit more room there than he was trying to do the right thing, but gave him a bit more room than he needed to. Got himself up on the curb, and that's what just held him up. And now Brian Moncani coming under attack from Stubbs, but holding on to P10. Grasshopper in 12th. Again, they've not really got into this race, has he? Grasshopper, we normally used to seeing Grasshopper up at the front and challenging for a podium, but maybe another one can't quite get to grips with this Jaguar yet. But definitely one to watch is Grasshopper. He's not used to being this far down the grid. So give it another couple of rounds and we'll see Grasshopper coming through. Now then, I've just seen that Stubbs and Brian Moncani have decided to go side by side. No, Stubbs has thought better of it and drops in behind Brian Moncani. We're on lap 13 as we go down the pack. P. White in 13th and Silly Shot in 14th. So not quite sure what's happened to Silly Shot. He did make the pit stop. He's out on medium tyres, so he must have had a bit of an issue somewhere for him to be that far back. Silly Shot is a lot better than this, so he's obviously had an issue that we've missed. So that's why he's down in 14th. So back up to the top then, and Dan with quite a decent gap now, looking to make it 2 out of 2 here in Sardegna. He is on those hard tyres, but then again so are the guys behind him. So Nath is in 2nd, looking to get onto the podium again. Harry Poppins in 3rd. This is more like it from Harry Poppins. This is what we're used to seeing. Took a season off last season, but back fighting and raring to go. Fantastic livery as well, I must say. If you did that yourself, Harry Poppins, hats off to you. That is a brilliant livery. Currently holding on to P3, but he has got Gower chasing him down. Gower on those hard tyres, though. He is going to find it tough to get past Harry Poppins. Harry Poppins desperately wants to get onto the podium. And we're on lap 14, so only about 1.5 laps to go. Probably not even that. As we round turn 9. We'll quick look down the order. Dizzy in 5th, Chuck in 6th. Then we've got Paul in 7th. In a bit of no man's land at the minute for Paul. He can just about see Chuck ahead. Can't quite get close enough to him. Then we've got Mika in 8th, Bloomfield in 9th, Brian Moncani and Stubbs. Them two really having a good fight, aren't they? They're really enjoying this. I've said it many times, you don't need to be at the pointy end to have a good battle. As Stubbs goes up the inside at turn 14, but Brian Moncani looks like he got a good exit out of that turn, but Stubbs just holds on to it. So a good move in the end for Stubbs. Took that inside line and moves himself up into P10 as they head down towards the line to start the final lap. Stubbs leading from Brian Moncani in 11th. Then we've got Grasshopper in 12th, P White 13th and Silly Shot 14th. Up to the leader then on his final lap into Wayne Chicane for the final time. And that is quite a decent gap. We're just going to keep an eye on back there for Nath. There he is, so no real pressure for Dan. Looks like he can just cruise home now. Nath in 2nd, a fantastic race for him in race 2. Harry Poppins in 3rd, looking okay for fuel down there. Harry Poppins, if he pushes, he could actually get himself up onto the 2nd step of the podium. He's not that far away from Nath. There is not that many turns to go though as they head down towards the dreaded turn 9 at Firepower Frenzy. This is where it could all go wrong, although it's been pretty good all the way through the race actually. Yeah, very nicely done. Gower in 4th. Now then, where's Dandan? We're just going to have to keep an eye on Dandan as he goes through turns 13. Down the hill towards turn 14, almost out of fuel. I think he's timed this to absolute perfection, hasn't he? So, turn 14 done for the final time through the very last turn on this Sardegna A track. And heading towards the finish line now. Dan won't even mind running out of fuel now because the gap's there as he crosses the line to take the win. So congratulations to Dan. Fantastic stuff. What a great weekend he's had. Nath across the line in 2nd. Harry Poppins, a flash of the lights for Harry Poppins to take 3rd. Gower 4th. Dizzy 5th. Then Chuck 6th. Paul 7th. Mika will come across the line just ahead of Bloomfield in 8th. Who's Bloomfield 9th. Stubbs 10th. Brian Moncani, Grasshopper, P White. And then Silly Shot will finish in 14th again with just enough fuel to cross the line. Wow, brilliant stuff from the Pro Split 2, guys. Thoroughly enjoyed that race. I hope you did as well. I'm just going to have a look, if you can hear all the paper rustling, I'm going to have a look where we are next week. Well, next week we are at Daytona Road Course. So that should be a fun one, all about the slipstream in there. So yeah, that was race 2. I'm going to be back a little bit later on with Paul. Hopefully Paul's going to be joining me for the Pro Am 2 guys to see how they got on here in Sardegna. And I'm also going to be bringing you the BTCC races as well, which started this week, and I'm going to be covering League 2, so I'm going to be bringing you those very shortly, so keep an eye out for them. In the meantime, take care, and I shall catch you all later on.